Good night, frog fans. Oh, that's a whole bunch of paint thinner on my face, I'm sure. Anyways, okay, let's do this quick today. I said quick, that means not hold on to the leg. Don't make me. Anyways, a little bit zany today. That's not the color we want. Today, it's past 10 o'clock, but I still want to get in a real quick video for today. I spent all day at an online training course, 6 hours, so pretty much from the moment I woke up to the moment that I went to go visit my dad, who lives across the street, because, you know, even though technically I'm an adult and the custody arrangement no longer applies to me, I still go over with my brother every other night because, you know, like just because. When I move out, that'll no longer happen, but so long as I'm here, I suppose that's going to be the arrangement. But yeah, so like there's the training course for the new job that I'm in, which is happened today and it's going to happen tomorrow again, 6 hours, which is an incredibly long time for someone like me to be sitting there doing one thing. And then after that, we had to, like, put in, like, a full day of work on top of that. Well, not really a full day of work, but we had to, you know, start calling people and everything. So I think that, you know, like, it's a great opportunity, but, you know, like, the training for 6 hours a day, and then on top of that, what they're expecting on top of that, it's a little much, to be honest. Like, do the 6-hour training, and then, you know, give them some time to come up with this other stuff. Or give us some time to come up with this other stuff, because the 6 hours, and then expecting other stuff on top of that, it's a bit much when, you know, we have other things in our lives to commit to. Like most jobs, you do the 6 hours, then you go home and you're done. But, you know, it's just going to be these 2 days that are like that, so it's okay. If every day was going to be like that, I'd be like, you know, dude, this is too much. I'm out. But it's only going to be the 2 days. Because no one wants to see the version of me that happens when I do nothing but one thing all day long. For months on end. Nobody wants to see that happen again. That's what happened to me with college. I did nothing but eat, sleep, and breathe college for a semester. Ended up failing. And ended up down the good old depression hole. And by the end of it, I was seeing the little white rabbit with the, what's it called? Pocket watch? Okay, so I didn't actually have hallucinations, but it was getting there. I mean, I made another video where I talked about this in detail, but for some reason, the fact that I had essentially failed all my courses, despite, doing nothing but committing myself to my work for all those months, it didn't get across to me. They sent me like one email that I missed, and that was all the information that I got. The only indication that I had failed that was given to me, which I found odd. So I had no idea. So I showed up expecting for everything to be just fine, only to be told that my timetable no longer exists. And I'm telling you, I was like halfway between, running out of there in like full celebration mode, like High School Musical. But the other part of me was about to go full on cuckoo, like Looney Tunes style, where, my hat was gonna flip off my head, spin around a couple of times, I was gonna go and then do cartwheels out of the front door. Yippee, 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 yippee! Grab some guy on the way out and give him a big old kiss. That's my way of saying I was halfway back to the Whack Shack, okay? But everything in my brain is processed through cartoons. Is anybody else like that? When you picture something happening, your brain runs through a very cartoony scenario. Something that I get from the rest of my family. Like the other day, we had my bearded dragon, or our bearded dragon, downstairs on my mom's bed, and she got up and, almost forgot he was there and almost kicked him. I know, awful, right? But, we got into talking about, like, oh, that wouldn't be very good, we better move him. So we moved him. And then we were talking about, like, if we had kicked him, he would have went flying across the room, and that wouldn't have been very good. Of course, joking. And, some people would probably, picture that in their minds and go, oh, how awful, like, the poor thing would get so hurt. Which is true. That's reality. But our brains were picturing this poor dragon projectile across the room, smacking into the window like one of those rubber sticky hands, and then slowly sliding down the glass with the squeaky sound effect. And then just getting back up like a cartoon. In real life, not entertaining, not funny at all. In the way that our brains process things, it's hilarious. However, we do know that that's not actually the way that it would happen, so don't worry. I promise you Zeus is in a very safe place. He's actually on my bed right now, all cuddled up on a pillow and a blanket. Because his favorite thing to do when he's outside of his tank is sleep. And then when he gets put back in his tank, he wakes up. Makes no sense. You'd think he'd want to crawl around out here where he has more room, but no. He sleeps. My brain is fried after today. I'm trying to think of what I'm doing here and trying to talk at the same time. It's not working the best. funny, all through this video, I've been talking about this online training seminar, and it was done through one of those video chat websites. So, they could see me through my computer camera. And the only place that I really have to set up for this is, at my desk here. So I was off over here with the camera pointed back this way behind you guys. And behind the camera right now is, behind the camera, always towards that direction, is the rack where I hang up my doll parts to dry. So, I'm sitting there, and behind me is heads and legs just out there for people to see, and I'm thinking, so one of these many people in this online chat thing is looking behind me and going, what the hell is happening in that house? Like, for my original online interview, I moved all the doll parts just because I didn't want, really, if there were any big concerns about it, I'm sure someone just would have said, what you got on the wall behind you? And I'd, explain, it's a hobby and it's a small business I want to start. I make these dolls, and, that would explain it away, but I don't want to create any unnecessary questions that might or might not impact me getting hired. So I moved the dolls for that, but now that I'm already hired, I'm just gonna, keep the dolls there. But I don't know, would that be considered a reason to fire someone? They have baby parts hanging on their wall. I'm still waiting for someone to see me, treat one of the dolls a certain way and then call Children's Aid thinking it's a real kid. Because I'm not always gentle with them. I am. I'm not necessarily rough with them, but I'm not always as gentle as you would be with an actual child. After I'm done with this, I've got to pop it into the video editor, trim down the nonsense that happens as I'm getting set up, make sure that the end is good, and then pop it onto the YouTube uploader thingy. Feed the frog, get ready for bed. Oh yeah, I've got to post a picture to the Froglings medias that I do. And then I've got to set my alarm for 9 o'clock tomorrow, so I can do today again. Stop complaining, Lilith. You've got it easy. You and your white girl complaining problems. You know how lucky you are to land this job? I've got two combating personalities in me. I've got the normal, you know, average 20-year-old white girl in me that complains about stuff like that, and then I have, like, the actual logical person in me that is able to say, compared to a lot of people, you've actually got an extraordinary situation on your hands, like an extraordinary opportunity. Why are you complaining? It's just 2 days of training. And then, there's the little whiny part in me that's like, why? Why is it so long? I'm like that creepy little goblin, like, Gollum and Schmeagol. I'm those guys. Constantly battling. Okay, well, that probably took a bit longer than it would for me to do it usually. But, as I said, it's getting late. It's been a long day, and my brain's fried. So, maybe I won't do another leg right now. I'll do an arm. If it will, come off the peg for me. Come on. There we go. Oh yeah, and I gotta take my medication too. Oh, and I can't forget to put Mr. Zeus away before I go to bed. I don't know why, but it helps me, get ready and actually get off to bed when I create, like, this little mental list of things I have to do before I actually go to bed. Or else I'll just sit there and procrastinate and, like, never get into bed. Which is not a good thing, especially for tonight, because I don't do well sitting in front of a computer screen for hours on end. It makes me go to sleep. I'm just one of those people. Has nothing to do with what's on the screen. I mean, it could be anything. It could be my favorite show on the screen, and if all I was doing was sitting there on hours, I'd fall asleep. I've got to have something more stimulating my brain, or it's like, yeah, I'm out. It's like, we're not doing anything with our hands or our body, so this seems like a good time for us to sleep, right? I mean, I'm one of those people that everyone hates because I always have to be doing something with my hands, and I'll do obnoxious things like click the pen. And, the person that sits beside me wants to murder me by the end of class. I've got to be engaged in something with just more than my brain. There's got to be another aspect to it. not, it has to be really interesting. Like the first time I watch a movie that I really like, or a show I really like, that I can sit there and just sit there and be interested and not fall asleep or drift off or anything. But you know, I watch the movies that I really like over and over again, but when I'm watching them over and over again, I can no longer do that. It's only the first time. After that, I have to like be doing something else, like painting or knitting or something. Which is one of the reasons why I wish, you know, like, people would recognize knitting as not like if you bring your knitting to like a meeting or something or into a class, people look at you like, you know, they look at it as the same as if you know, are on Facebook or on your phone or something. But for me, it's just something to keep my hands busy. I can knit and be totally focused on something else. And I actually concentrate better if I'm knitting and listening to someone speak. One of my high school math teachers actually encouraged me knitting during his class, because he understood. He was a really good teacher. Okay, what time are we at? Okay, well, that's gonna be all for now. I'm pretty much worn out. We'll see you guys tomorrow, probably. Depends on how I feel. I hope you had a good day. Keep living the frogling's life, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye! Sorry for the